Hello everybody and welcome to another TRT Q&A with me, Paulo Bracado. And today's question has to do with Nebido. It comes from Lars and he asks, when you were on Nebido for a time and it had stabilized, do you remember how many days went by before you felt the next injection kick in? Right, good question. I'm doing a video response to this one. This actually comes from a question on my blog, but I'm doing a video response because a lot of guys ask about this. It is a common question. So to get to the answer, I want to break this up into two sections when it comes to Nebido injections, right? The sort of long term and then the short term in terms of kicking in, right? So when you start Nebido, how Nebido works is normally you have a shot of testosterone. It's a slow acting testosterone, so you normally have a shot once every 12 weeks normally, right? But when you start Nebido, you have a loading phase, which means that you have an injection and then instead of waiting 12 weeks, you usually wait just 6 weeks. That gives a chance for your testosterone to go up quickly so that you can start treatment fast. And then after 6 weeks, you have your second injection, and then every injection after that is supposed to be 12 weeks and 12 weeks and 12 weeks. So that gets you started on treatment quickly and then maintaining for the duration of your treatment. And if you look on Nebido's website and you look at what they say about the loading phase, you'll see here, and I'll put a diagram up on the screen so you can see the difference between the loading phase and then the maintenance phases. But they also say it is advisable to reduce the interval between the first and second administration of Nebido to 6 weeks. With this loading dose, sufficient steady state testosterone levels may be achieved more rapidly. Okay, so let's get back to Lars's question. And now we look at, okay, you've started TRT or you started Nebido and you seem to be feeling great. Now you have follow-up injections, right? Now he says, how many days go by before you feel the next injection kick in, right? So normally when you start Nebido, on average, you should feel the effects take place within about 2 to 4 weeks on average, but it's obviously very individual. But when you're on and you're getting your injection every 12 weeks or so, you shouldn't be feeling anything kick in. I want to rephrase that. You don't really feel anything kick in, but rather what happens is you will notice with a bit of time that the symptoms that you had of low testosterone, they will kind of dissolve or dissipate. They will sort of just go away with a little bit of time. So you don't really feel like a oomph with it kicking in, sort of like maybe you may do with faster acting testosterones. With Nebido, it's kind of very subtle. It sort of glides in smoothly, and then one day you go, hey, I just realized I'm feeling good, I'm not feeling all these negative symptoms that I used to feel. And that's what you want to maintain. Now, what happens with testosterone is you go up and you go down based on your injections, right? They call that the peak and the dip. And that the dip is when you will sort of start getting the negative side effects of low testosterone again, the symptoms and all that, and you want to avoid that. So instead of having an injection and then waiting for it to wear off and then getting another injection and then waiting for it to kick in and then waiting for it to wear off, you want to time your injections so that they overlap, so that you never go through those dips and have that shitty feeling that comes with the dip. So you will have to try and find out where that sweet spot is with your injections, right? Nebido recommends every 12 weeks. I know from personal experience that was too long for me, right? And that may be the case for other people too. You don't want to be waiting for something to kick in and waiting for it to wear off. You want to time your injections so that you just keep cruising and coasting and feel great all of the time without the effects kicking in and then wearing off. You want to be cruising. And for me, I worked with my doctor over a period of many years, but I think after about a year, we finally found the sweet spot where my Nebido injections needed to be given every 7 to 10 weeks, more or less. I think the sweet spot was around about 8 weeks. Now that goes against what Nebido says because they recommend 12 weeks, but you have to work and according to what works for you and how you feel, right? And so that you will get a feel for when your dips come and when you need to get your next injection, and then you need to adjust. So you can try 12 weeks. If you find that you get that feeling that it wears off and then it kicks back in again when you get your next injection, then maybe try working with your doctor, moving to 11 weeks between injections and see if that helps. If you're still noticing those transitions, try again 10 weeks. And if you think about it, my sweet spot seemed to be 8 weeks. And 8 weeks, if you've got Nebido, which is 1,000 milligrams, you divide that by 8, that's 125 milligrams per week where I felt great. And that kind of makes sense because the regimen that I'm on now, even though I'm not on Nebido, but I'm on Sustanon, I'm doing 125 milligrams per week and I feel good too. So that seemed to be the magic sort of amount for me, right? 125 milligrams per week seems to be where I never have any side effects. I never feel the dips and the troughs and that. That seems to be the dosage that works for me, but you've got to figure out which one works for you. Maybe more and maybe less, right? You may need a little bit more time. You may, maybe 11 or 10 weeks is the sweet spot for you, or maybe it's slightly less. You have to listen to your body, work with your doctor, and then adjust it accordingly. So that's it. I hope that helps. I went on a bit of a diatribe there, but I just wanted to give a bit of context so that you understand how it works and that you don't really sort of feel it kick in, but rather that the side effects of low testosterone sort of dissolve. And you want to, once you're at that state, you want to maintain it there. You don't want to keep going through these ups and downs. So, hope that helped. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.